After defeating La Habrea at the end of A Realm Reborn, you're contacted by Alisaie, who asks you to help her explore the underground caverns created by Dalamud's fall, because she noticed etheric activity happening within them that was similar to reports just before the calamity, and that she wants to find out what happened to her grandfather who tried to seal Bahamut but failed. So after hearing all of this, you help. You start your first expedition into the planet by using a Garlean dig site in Vilbrand. When you're inside the cavern, Alisaie explains that the orange crystals you see all over Eorzea are corrupted crystals that were created due to fragments of Dalamud falling into the planet, and that Dalamud was created by the Allagans to trap Bahamut. Then you two go deeper into the cavern only to find out that Bahamut hasn't been destroyed yet by finding one of his wings, and are confused about this but continue forward as someone spies on you. After defeating a dragon named Twintania, Alisaie explains that the collar around its neck was an Allagan control device, but before she can continue her explanation, you two find a room with Bahamut's head, realizing that the primal is still alive in its current state. But before you two retreat, Alisaie's grandfather Louisoix appears. Then he leaves, walking towards Bahamut. Then your group goes back to the Waking Sands to inform Urianger about what you saw. After telling him everything, Urianger concludes that if we don't defeat Bahamut now, he'll wake up and destroy Eorzea again. After a short break, Alisaie calls upon you again to explain that the Allagans created the devices surrounding Bahamut, and that they're binding coils that feed the dragon energy and stop him from moving, so they can take energy from him, and that she wants to break these coils to defeat Bahamut and free her grandfather. After that explanation, you go to the 12's Wood to enter the second cavern, but Alphinaud appears and asks you to make sure Alisaie doesn't get blinded by the idea of reviving their grandfather instead of defeating Bahamut. Afterwards, you and Alisaie enter the second cavern, and you run into the leader of the Meteor project that made Dalamud crash, the White Raven Nel Van Darnus, who should be dead. Then Darnus reveals that he's been tempered by Bahamut, then he runs away. Eventually, you and Alisaie catch up to him and find out that Darnus is a woman, and you fight her. After defeating Darnus, she tells Alisaie that she'll find her answers if she continues forward, but before she can say anything else, she's killed. And Alisaie realizes that the voice marking Darnus's death is Louisoix, so you two move forward. When you enter the next room, you see that Bahamut's torso is starting to regenerate, so Alisaie turns off one of the coils. Then she gets attacked by Louisoix. Then he tells Alisaie to stop interfering with the coils, revealing that he's been tempered by Bahamut as well, and says that if he sees us again, he'll kill us. After this, Alisaie resolves herself to defeat Bahamut and her granddad's imposter. Then you and Alisaie go to the Waking Sands to update Urianger about your adventure, and the game cuts away to show you that Alphinaud is listening to our conversation. After a short break, you and Alisaie go to see if her assistants found a path towards the coils, but they don't. Following this bad news, Urianger calls and informs you that he's found a cavern leading to the coils. So you two meet Urianger, who explains how to get underground. Then Alphinaud appears, revealing that he helped Urianger and says that he's coming with you and Alisaie to finish this. After that, your group goes underground, and Alisaie figures out that the energy that was binding and feeding Bahamut came from his children, who have been trapped in a constant state of prayer, meaning that Bahamut couldn't die. Then she says the dragons will die when we turn off the coils. After this conversation, we reach Bahamut's nearly complete body, but before we can turn off the coil, Louisoix appears, and he debates with his grandchildren about the differences between dragons and man. Then he argues that the dragons of Mercidia summoning Bahamut to save them from the Allagans is no different from him summoning the 12 to fight Bahamut. But Alphinaud ignores his grandfather's words to ask if Louisoix has become a primal himself, and the answer is yes. Then Louisoix transforms into the primal phoenix, confirming that this is not a clone or a copy, but the real Louisoix. After this, Alisaie asks you to defeat her grandfather, and after a tough fight, you do. But before he passes away, Louisoix breaks free of Bahamut's tempering, thanking you and explaining that when he summoned the 12 to imprison Bahamut, they weren't strong enough, so the dragon got free. But as that was happening, Louisoix and everyone's prayers for Eorzea to be saved combined with the leftover Aether from the 12, transforming Louisoix into the Primal Phoenix. So he used the last of his power to save everyone he could and deliver a devastating strike to Bahamut, which rained Aether all over Eorzea, and this Aether restored the land from Bahamut's destruction. However, Bahamut thralled Louisoix before he went into the Lifestream, which led to the current situation. After this explanation, Louisoix asks you to defeat Bahamut, turns off the second coil, opens a portal to the last coil, and most importantly, he says goodbye to his grandchildren. Then he passes away. When your group gets to the final coil, Bahamut attacks you, but the twins combine their powers to shield you from a second blast. Then they send you into the crystal core of Bahamut to defeat the dragon, and after a tough battle, you put Bahamut out of his misery. After you get out of the crystal core, Alisaie turns off the final coil and Bahamut's body disappears. Then the twins decide to not let anyone know that Louisoix became Phoenix so he can rest in peace. When they return to the surface, Alphinaud and Urianger leave to inform the Eorzean Alliance about Bahamut's defeat. After this, you join Alisaie at one of the fragments of Dalamud, where she thanks you for everything you've done for her and Eorzea. Then she says a prayer for Louisoix, Darnus, the dragons of Mysidia, and everyone who lost their lives in the calamity. Then you two go your separate ways. And this is the end of the Binding Coils of Bahamut storyline in Final Fantasy XIV. With that being said, if you want to see more timeline videos like this one or video essays on your favorite video games and anime, like, comment, and subscribe with notifications turned on. But with that being said, it's been Skips and I'm out.